Okay, let's get on with the process now of how this agave product turns into something else. Because you guys have actually developed certain processes yourself. Because I was reading on your website and it was really fascinating to me. Just the differences, your innovation. Because, like you said, you have actual scientists now. So, tell me about these different processes that happen. Because you had a couple of different ones. One was called thermoforming, right? Or is that the process of actually making the product?
So effectively, different products require different processes, right? And so a straw process is different than a cutlery process. Different molds, different machineries involved, and different combinations of resins are involved as well. And depending on what you effectively, your customer experience, the experience of the customer, that also will dictate what types of resin you use. For example, you drink coffee out of your you drink coffee out of a straw, which is totally fine, and I think getting more and more normal as the days go on, and I applaud you for it. But that type of, like, for our conventional straw, for example, with our compostable and our straw will not withstand the heat probably that you're having with coffee. But if you effectively use, let's say, a PHA straw, which is a canola oil based straw, that has stronger heat resistance. And so we do have a version that is a bit more heat resistant than our average bear, because we effectively have coffee stirrers as well that we're developing, that have a coffee stir that's not heat resistant. It's not much of a coffee stir. And so it depends on the product that you're effectively using. So again, extrusion in terms of straws is obviously, that's the process you use. Thermoforming, that's on our innovation products, and that's what we're effectively looking more and more at is how do we effectively use as much of our use much waste for an upcycled process to create new products. And so, straws are small, are a very, very small piece of the overall plastics pie. So cutlery is bigger, but then there's all kinds of other things that we can effectively using our items for. So, looking at things like plates and bowls and those types of aspects, that would involve a completely different process. That would involve a thermoforming process if we were ever going to go down that road versus a straw or a cutlery process. We never want to be a one-trick pony. We never want to be a straw company or even a straw and cutlery company. We want to build a portfolio. And so we've also had many companies that have come to us and say, hey, can you develop a specific item for us, whether it be a dessert cup or a golf tee or all those types of things. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, because sustainable products will always be more expensive than conventional plastic. So we have an innovation team that creates new formulations and updates our formulations. Then we have an innovation team that can effectively help with new product development as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope we will get to the point at some point where, the smart choice is not the most expensive choice. I'm hoping that eventually it won't just be like, the luxury tax. What do we call that? The girl tax, the vegan tax, the sustainable tax. Anytime
Right.
you try and do something a little bit nicer for the world, it seems like, oh, well, you'll pay more to not be a horrible person, and the way I look at it. But, I really like the way that you broke down the process on your website. You basically said the agave is grown and harvested, and then the plant is used to make tequila and agave nectar. And then the leftover waste, what's it called? A bagazo? That's a cute name. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you take your bagazo. So the bagazo then becomes what? That becomes the resin?
Yeah, so it's a very wet fiber, and depending on what you do with it, that will effectively become a very strong component of what the resin actually is. So it depends on what you're making and how you're making it. It depends on how much agave you're effectively using and how you're forming that agave. So the agave can be formulated into a biocomposite, for example, to be a big part of whatever you're effectively making. So there's different products require different ways to treat that agave, but it's really interesting because the agave comes out and it comes out super wet, like almost like in a slurry format.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to effectively, in a lot of cases, treat it, dry it, clean it, bale it, all those types of things to effectively prepare it for use. So there's technology not only on the formulation side, but there's also technology and work on the how you treat the agave that comes off the comes out of the field, so to speak.